Hey everybody, it's Jason from the Texas Gun Vault 2, and we're back out here in the garage for kind of, I guess, what's going to be a long video. I got some first impressions. I got an update on my Sig P365, which I do appreciate all of you that messaged me and tried to help me regarding the issue of mounting the optic on the slide. And I also want to talk about maybe a canary in the coal mine type of event that happened today with one of my channels, and to kind of spread the word to other content creators. Don't worry, it's not too bad, but it's just something to take note of. Let's start off with the first impressions first. I always say that, and that always sounds weird to me. First impressions first. All right, so I was able to go to the range a couple nights ago. And right now, for the foreseeable future, I got a bunch of suppressors I need to review. So you're going to be getting a lot of suppressor and NFA talk from me. And the two suppressors I took to the range were the Print XH RBS SC from B&T. This is I believe, a titanium 3D printed suppressor. Has some of the flow-through baffle designs that they've been incorporating into their cans recently, optimized for 5.56, kind of a shorter can, but it has a pretty good diameter. And I also took what I thought was the most interesting suppressor I have in because of the end cap. Now I'm going to show you this, and I don't know, I probably should have looked up the word, but there is a phobia of like little holes. Maybe some of you guys know what I'm talking about. To me, that end cap looks really weird. Honestly, it kind of looks a little bit creepy. You guys know what I'm saying. It kind of falls into that, what do they call it? The uncanny valley. I guess that's more to deal with like robots and AI. But it's like that, it's just, I don't know, it's weird looking. I can kind of see where, I don't know. It kind of triggers that little phobia that I think many of us have. That fear of small holes that are grouped together. It's a real thing. Anyway, this is the Stealth Additive Works Ekron 5.56, and this is a really cool suppressor. So let's talk about what I discovered. The host weapon for my range trip was the rifle I recently reviewed, the Noveske N4 Shorty. So this has a 10.5-inch barrel, direct gas impingement, a non-adjustable gas block. You know, Noveske makes some of the best stuff. And this has turned out to be the perfect host weapon for these 5.56 cans because it really highlights their ability to suppress both the flash and the report. Because this gun, unsuppressed, is crazy loud and crazy obnoxious. Honestly, too obnoxious. I mean, you get a fireball out of this thing, and it is just, you feel the concussion. And so if the suppressor mitigates that, you know it's working pretty darn well. So let's talk about the B&T can first. Once again, this is the Print XH RBS SC. And very lightweight. And overall, I'm very impressed with this suppressor. I thought it worked great, especially for its size. I really feel like if it was a little bit longer, you get a little bit better suppression. The tone was really good, especially for a flow-through can. I like how light it is. You don't really notice it on the end of the rifle because of its weight. I think it has a very attractive look to it. I like the cans that just look like tubes. We don't have anything funky on the end cap, but we do have some vents around it where that gas can go forward. Because I think some companies make them look too tacti-cool and kind of corny looking, like too futuristic. I just want a tube. I just want a tube. It's all I want. So on my tests, suppression is good. Tone is good. Not the best, but overall really good. It mitigated the flash and the report of this firearm really well. When it came to the resistance test that I normally do, very impressed with this, especially compared to the last suppressor that I reviewed. Honestly, not a lot of gas came back through the firearm. Maybe a little bit, but the technology that they put into this is really working. The point of impact shift was minimal, and when it came to the ballistics changes, it was pretty darn close. So not much in the way of changing how the gun performed. And in the heat test, it did not get all that hot, and it cooled off very fast. very fast. And that's one of the reasons I like the titanium. So overall, when it comes to my tests, I'm going to give this very high marks. I think it's fantastic for its size. The downsides to this suppressor are twofold. One is more of a fiscal thing, because when I was doing my basic research on this can, I discovered this thing's pretty darn expensive. It's really expensive for what it is. Is it worth it? Probably so. Probably so. But I can see the price point of this one deterring a lot of people. Now, maybe when the NFA tax goes completely away next year, it's going to look a little bit better for people. But price point, I think a little bit high. But I think you get a great can for what it is. The other issue I actually had with both suppressors, and in general titanium suppressors with the flow-through baffle designs, they spark, okay? And it's not because you're getting baffle strikes. I have discovered that titanium, just with the blast, I guess like little tiny pieces of titanium come off or whatever. You get like this titanium dust and it like sparks. Now, there's no baffle strikes. It's very common, and when I have reviewed other cans, it's like, oh yeah, that spark you get out the front is because it's titanium. This can has a huge spark to it. Like you just see, it's very noticeable. So it's not like you get much flash suppression from it, but that's because it's titanium. I think if it was made of Inconel or stainless steel, you would not get that. And I think that was the biggest distraction. So it's pricey, and you really get that titanium. I guess I'm going to call it the spark, the titanium spark, very predominant on this. But otherwise, it passed all of my tests with flying colors. It's going to get a really good review. So not the greatest 556 suppressor ever, but definitely up there. Price point just a little bit too much. All right, so now let's move on to this guy, the Stealth Additive Works Ekron. And this one, I didn't really know what to think about because it looks so weird and so different. Now, I'm going to make a statement here, and I think I will be able to qualify it when I do the review. This is the best performing 556 22 caliber suppressor I've ever reviewed on an AR. It's amazing. It's amazing. So, tone, man, I have a moth around here. Sorry, little bug. I just had the garage door open a few minutes ago, so you might get some like little flies and things here on camera. The tone of this suppressor is extremely low. It's really the right size for a 556. So here's that B&T on top of it. You can see that it's a little bit longer, so you have more internal volume, plus the diameter is about the same. So really you get a lot more volume inside this. This can is definitely hearing safe on this. In fact, when I'm even reviewing the range footage, all I really hear is the gas coming out of the ejection port, and you hear the round hitting the backstop at the range. It's probably the best sounding 556 suppressor ever that I have shot. Nothing touches this thing. Nothing. When it came to the resistance test, the B&T was good. It was good. This one's amazing. Maybe there's something to this end cap and whatever they do inside. Man, no gas behind the gun. It was like shooting the gun unsuppressed. Quite impressive. Quite impressive. When it came to the point of impact and ballistics change test, it was exactly the same. I mean, statistically, it was about as close as you can get. Gunshot very consistent with both. And the heat test, this thing got hot, but it cooled down faster than any other suppressor. In fact, when I started to put the thermometer on it, you started to see it decline. I think I started measuring it when it was at like 650, 660. And just in the 5 or 6 seconds I show in the review, or that I'm going to show in the review, you see the temperature drop by 15 to 20 degrees. I mean, as soon as you're done shooting, it starts to dissipate that heat. So it's titanium. It does typically do that. And maybe just something internally, I don't know. It just dissipates the heat fast. And it got down to, in 5 minutes, from 650 degrees to right around 200. That's amazing. It shed 400 degrees in 5 minutes. Never had any other suppressor do that. So even though it's titanium, you'll probably get a little bit of wear, and that heat might cause a little bit of premature erosion over time. It cools off really fast, so it does not retain that heat. So I also think it's a safe suppressor. You can get it off your gun in no time, so you can put it in your range bag. It will cool off in time, so you can put the rifle on a sling and over your shoulder. You'd be good. But like this can, the only issue I had with it was the titanium spark. That's it. That's it. And it's quite pronounced on this one as well. But with the tests that I perform, passes them with flying colors. Best 20, I keep saying 22, 5.56, because it is a 22 caliber. Best 5.56 suppressor, hands down, I have reviewed to this point. This thing is amazing. The B&T is good, very good. This thing's amazing. So I really wish you could see into the baffle stack and what they do. I have no idea. I didn't find any diagrams online, but I'd be very, very, very curious. And however they 3D printed this, it has this really kind of cool, like wavy look to it as well. So it's a very attractive can. I like its shape. I like how plain it is. Might not be the biggest fan of this end cap, but maybe that's kind of the mojo to how this thing operates. So fantastic job. Stealth Additive works with your Ekron. This is going to get easily 5 out of 5 stars plus in the review. Okay? So that was my first impressions. By the way, this is not an official review, so please don't tell me that's the world's worst review, because if you want to know all my reviews, go to my main channel. There's a link in the description below. All right, next thing. I want to thank you all for helping me out with making a decision on what I was going to do with the Sig P365 that I talked about in my last video. This is the case for it. So I decided, enough people said, just call Sig. If they say they're not going to fix it, or there's not a problem with it, well, then you fix it yourself. Some people said they might send you a new slide, or they might take it in on warranty work. And even if they don't fix it and say there's something wrong with it, bring it back to the garage and fix it. I was like, you know what? You're probably right. That's probably the smartest thing. So I contacted Sig today. I was on the phone with them for about 20 minutes. I had like a 10-minute wait, and the gentleman was really nice. He sent me a return label. He said, just send the slide. I don't need the barrel. I don't need the recoil spring. I don't need the magazine. I don't need the frame. Just send the slide. So it went off today. It's going to New Hampshire. So he says give him a week to a week and a half, and he'll let me know. I detailed and told him exactly what was wrong. He didn't seem to understand. I was telling him that the post on the left side where the optics would mount seems to be out of spec, like it's mushroomed a little bit. It's flared out. But he says the only optics they're going to be able to test it on will be Sig optics, so we'll have to see if it fits, and if they send it back saying it's in spec, then I'll have to do something myself. But we'll see. So I have everything else. So the slide is gone, but I do have the frame, the barrel, and the recoil spring and the magazine. So I'll keep you abreast of all information on what ends up happening with this gun. But I took your advice. We're going to start off by seeing what Sig is going to do. And if they do nothing, we'll figure something out. If they do something, great. Let's just start there. That's it. And it's not a super duper pressing issue because I have no other optics that are on the RMSC footprint in the foreseeable future. So there you go. All right. I think we have one more thing to talk about. I said it was the canary in the coal mine thing. And this is more a behind the scenes and also a message to all of my fellow content creators. I want to share with you what happened today. Things got resolved, but it was very surprising. Now, I know you guys know about the Texas Gun Vault 2, and of course you know about the Texas Gun Vault 1, otherwise known as the Texas Gun Vault. What you might not know, and please don't go over there and subscribe to it because you'll be sorely disappointed because you won't see anything and can't see anything. I have reserved the Texas Gun Vault 3. And the Texas Gun Vault 3 is a channel where I upload all of my videos for my Patreon supporters, and I make special videos for people. Like if I have to make a video, like say I have a problem with a suppressor and I need to show the company what's wrong with it, I'll make a private video and I post it over there. So, I mean, there are people that I send videos to that subscribe to it, but as I said, you can't see any videos. Everything is unlisted. But anyway, I got a notification today on the email address that's associated with the channels, and I have different ones for different channels. that my content had been removed. And of course, my heart just goes, it just drops. I'm like, oh God, what are they coming after? Like, I work so hard at this. I don't break any of the rules. And it's not like they age restricted. It was a content removal, does not meet community guidelines. And it was going to be like a warning, essentially. So I was curious, like, which channel is it? And it was, oh, it's Texas Gun Vault 3, which is kind of weird because normally they don't care about unlisted and private videos. I've never had an unlisted or private video get flagged for anything. The public ones, yeah, but not the private ones. But anyway, I looked at it, and it was it was the review that I just uploaded to that channel on this gun right here. And it got taken down. And I was like, okay, crap. It says, of course, their usual, standard thing is facilitating gun sales. I'm like, what? I don't... Anyway, so I was like, I wasn't too upset because I'm like, okay, it's on my third channel that I just use for very specific things. I'm not worried about it's not on the main channel, blah, blah, blah. So I looked at the appeal and I appealed it. And I just said, I don't sell guns. No gun sales. I don't talk about where you can buy guns. I don't tell people where to buy guns, how to buy guns, nothing. And I was like, this is probably going to get rejected. Like it always does. Like, but it got granted. It got granted. So that means that I think they've done something to the AI algorithm or however the AI figures things out. So if you're a content creator, be on the lookout for videos being removed because I know they're always tweaking things, right? Things that have been up for years, all of a sudden, it's a massive problem. And you're like, what's going on? So they seem to be reasonable. I believe the artificial intelligence flagged the video for some reason, and whoever reviewed it agreed it did not break community guidelines. So the appeal was granted. So anyway, I want to let you know, maybe something's going on. It might be a canary in the coal mine. It's the only video, and it's kind of weird. It was on my third channel where I have all of my private and unlisted videos. So anyway, just wanted to share that with you guys. So there you go. First impressions on two really cool suppressors. A little news on the YouTube world. And, of course, thanking you all for helping me with the Sig P365. So if you watched to the end of this video and want to participate in the word of the day, which lets me know you watched to the end and you're a true vault dweller. I know some people don't care about doing that. They think it's goofy. I like to have that interaction. The word of the day is going to be, let's go with the, should I go with a hard word to use in a sentence? Canary. Canary is the word of the day because that video was the canary in the coal mine. Might be something to take note of. Might not be. We just have to see. But the appeal was granted. So there you go. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Thanks for joining me here in the garage. And as always, thanks for watching.